Hello. Now that you've seen a few profiles of local African Americans and learned more about why they moved to Appleton, their careers, and how they think the city should move forward in terms of being a more welcoming community for African Americans, what do you think? Well, I hope you notice that African Americans represent a cross section of our local society that come here for opportunity for ourselves and our families. We too want careers to establish businesses and seek quality education for our children and be a significant part of all aspects that make up Appleton and the rest of the Fox Cities. I'm Dr. Sabrina Robbins, and I've been a Fox Cities resident for just over 15 years.
And hello, I am Dr. Bola Delano. I have been a Fox Cities resident for over 20 years. As Blacks in this area, we have and we continue to make significant contributions to this community. Like Dr. Robbins said, I must say, witnessing and being part of the creation of this exhibit, I experienced mixed emotions. Sad about the experiences of many of my sheroes and heroes, but also with trepidation and some optimism about the future. And taking into consideration that I know that as a community, we can write our own history about the future.
I too share some of those mixed emotions that you just spoke about. And thinking back to the exhibit and hearing the profiles, it's amazing to know that Appleton has documented historical accounts of having Blacks in the area since the 1700s through present times. As such, we've seen that the experiences of Blacks in the Fox Cities are representative of regional and national trends when considering the treatment of Blacks.
Yes, Appleton has really experienced its own share of changing demographic, racial, and ethnic trends. This is a norm that is really consistent with national and regional trends. These trends, as we have observed, have evolved, going back to the artist Cleggett, Hollingsworth families, and it's still evolving with the experiences of the Awofessors, Dunlaps, Manns, Orion, Robbins families, and even the advocacy of such organizations like African Heritage Incorporated towards community, and now Celebrate Fox Cities.
Appleton had the potential of becoming a haven for Black families if we provide equal access to employment, housing, education, and the community accepts us in a welcoming way. How insightful to hear Dr. King's assessments of our community. But I have to say, we're well beyond the late 1960s. I have to ask, Dr. Bowman, are we there yet? Are we that haven?
Are we? Unfortunately, I must say, definitely not. However, we have that potential of being that haven. As I sit here and I chat with you, I am reminded of the work of Dr. Hughes from the Education Department at Indiana University, who challenges us to reflect on our own communities and institutions. Dr. Sabrina, you referenced Dr. King's meeting at UW Fox Valley, in which he said that Appleton has that potential of being that haven. It is important, folks, that we ask ourselves, are we that haven? I'm going to ask you a few questions. And I pose this challenge to you to ask yourself, are we that haven? Think about the events you have attended and who's in attendance. Think about the neighborhoods you live in, the schools that you, your children, or even grandchildren attended. Think about the homes of friends, weddings, and daily functions. What do the demographics of these events look like, folks? Do all the people you interacted with, do they look similar to you? Or do they even look different from you? Look at the political leadership of our city government. How many African Americans currently hold any leadership positions? You know, as you think through this, I also ask you to look at the structure of the organizations you own or that you even work with. Ask yourself, are there any African Americans in upper level positions? Think about the academic performance of Black students in our K-12 schools in this area. How are they doing? Are they doing as well as their white counterparts? So many questions, my sister friend. So many questions to think about. And then these questions, though, folks, it challenges us to think about that haven and how we can create that haven.
Sadly, Dr. Bola, when I think about those questions, it's clear we're not there. We still have work to do. It's time to transform that stone of hope and manifest it into action. That is a community-wide shared commitment for me, you, the individuals, businesses, and civic organizations. Such a large challenge. Where do we start? There are 3 top areas that are critical to our growth to be an inclusive community. 1, we absolutely must be welcoming. 2, job accessibility that is fair and provides an opportunity for growth. And lastly, equal access to quality public education that include fair treatment of Black students within the schools.
Yes, we hope that the exhibit challenges you to think how far we have come and how far we have to go. We hope you challenge yourself about becoming part of change towards a more inclusive and welcoming community. You know, media mogul Oprah Winfrey said, we can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. We have to change. Are you ready? I know for sure, like Shirley Chisholm said, I am, was, and always will be a catalyst for change. Are you?